back to another Supergirl episode review. My thoughts on tonight's episode of Supergirl titled Bizarro. And first of all, this review is coming later than I would have wanted it to, but, I work and I get off late, so here I am at almost midnight recording this. So, to get things started, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode for the most part. Everything revolving around the Bizarro Supergirl aspect of the show, I really enjoyed. Of course, the episode wasn't perfect. It had its problems, and I kind of just want to get the problems that I had with it out of the way. I feel like the writers of the episode really shoehorned in the whole James professing his love angle of the episode, and I didn't like that at all. It felt really out of place. Like, they could have saved that for like another episode where, I don't know. I feel like next week's episode would be like a little more appropriate to have that sort of thing instead of, James telling, Bizarro Supergirl, like, oh, I love her because of this, and this. I love her. It's like, calm down, dude. So yeah, that was just something that I didn't really like seeing. I mean, look, I've been on the fence about the whole James and Kara romance since the beginning. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like I don't want it. I'm not saying that at all. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like romance in these superhero shows if I don't feel that the characters have enough chemistry. And pretty much since Lucy Lane kind of came back into the picture in the show, Kara and James's relationship has been a little rocky, or because they don't have as many scenes together as they did in the first few episodes. It just feels a little off that there's still these romantic tension like months later. I don't know. I just feel like that whole bit about him revealing his feelings for Kara it could have been handled a little better. What else? The Adam character, Cat Grant's son. The fact that they brought him in literally for like a 2-episode arc. What was the point? Really, what was the point other than being a love interest? Because I feel like that was the whole point, and that was my issue with the character last week. It felt like they brought the character in just to be a love interest, and that was very apparent to me, like all he really was. And like the moment he gets dumped by Kara, he's like, "Oh, sorry, mom, I gotta go now. Like, I'm too heartbroken. I can't be here." Like, I just didn't like that at all. Like, I really. Like, if they just brought in the character just to be introduced character as Cat Grandson to introduce a new dynamic to the show, I would have been okay with that. I just didn't like how that was handled well, either. And Maxwell Lord, I've never liked the guy. I mean, not much to say other than that. I mean, I guess, the thing I finally hit why I don't like the guy, because I feel like the show, it seems like they're really making Maxwell Lord this version, or like their own version of Lex Luthor from the comics. I mean, Maxwell Lord, in the comics, I think he has, like, some superpowers or something along the lines. I'm not sure. I know he had superpowers in Smallville. Obviously, that's a different version of the character. But that's really as much as I know about the character. And I don't know. I just feel like he's been too on the nose to be too much like Lex Luthor. I don't know. I just feel like the character, he hasn't really been a compelling villain to me. Like, I can't tell if, like, Astra's supposed to be the main villain of the season, or if he's supposed to be the main villain of the season, because he's been in, like, every single episode ever since they introduced him. I don't know, I've always just been on the fence about that dude, but anyways, to get into the things I really enjoyed about the episode. First, starting off, this is, like, a little thing that I noticed in the beginning of the episode that I actually really, really liked, like, a lot. When basically getting over his issues with Kara. Like, at first you could tell he didn't want to talk, and then he's like, okay, I want to talk, tell me. And then, like, it's over. Like, there. Like, all, like that stupid romance bullshit, like if women being like, oh, whoa, his main character doesn't want me. Like, he could have, like, done an Adam and, like, oh, he's gone now. But no, he handled it maturely. He's like, look, we work together, we're friends, like, just get it over with, because I want to help you out. Like, that was strength in the character that I think should have been in the Adam character. Like, okay, not everyone's available today. Not everyone's gonna want you. So just like deal with it, or just whatever. But Wynn, I think, handled that really well, and they haven't really addressed that as an issue. But hey, I mean, they don't necessarily have to. The fact that it was just like, bam, like he's over it and good. Like I see maturity in the character because of that. And another thing I enjoyed, another scene dealing with Wynn, was when he was telling James about, he's like, dude, like, I've been stuck in the friend zone. I've basically, like, bought property there. Obviously, it's not fair to be in a relationship with someone else when you love someone else. who is not that person in the relationship. That was a really powerful scene, at least from Wynn's, well, at least in my opinion, from Wynn's perspective. I like that scene a lot. I feel like Wynn is growing more and more on me. At this point, I actually wouldn't mind the idea of him and Kara dating. Like, at first, I was completely against it. Like, I didn't buy into it at all. But the last few episodes, like, obviously the whole episode where he kissed Kara was, like the best episode for Wynn, in my opinion. But watching this episode, I was really I'm really turned around by this character. Like, he's really grown as a character. Yeah, he's still, like, there's aspects of him that are so kind of like the Felicity Smoke and Cisco Remote. Like, he's like a combination of those two characters from Flash and Arrow. But I still feel like he's become his own character, and I really enjoy seeing him on screen. Now, to get into the things I really enjoyed about tonight's episode, again, it starts and ends with Bizarro for me. Because the first few scenes with Bizarro, when it was just Melissa Benoist doing the whole, like, Supergirl, bad, like, just saying, like, one word or one phrase responses to everything. That first I was like, I don't know. But then once they showed into that first fight scene when, you know, Kara's, like, trying to save the people in that lift thing, and then Bizarro Supergirl shows up and then start fighting, and blah, blah, blah. One thing that I was kind of curious about in the show, when Kat names Bizarro Supergirl, I would have assumed that there was already a version of Bizarro for Superman, you know? Since Superman is already an established character in this whole world, I was surprised that they didn't say that Bizarro, or he had his own Bizarro, but whatever, I guess. That was just a minor thing that made me a little confused. But, I mean, obviously the show is trying to do its own thing, not just be like, oh, Superman did it, now we gotta do it. I mean, they're kind of getting that from the comics, but, whatever. Beginning back into what I liked, and then we see all the fight scenes between Bizarro and Supergirl were actually really, really cool. And it seemed like the opposite powers, like the fire breath and the freeze breath, and the two different heat visions, or the purple vision. I don't even know what heat vision, purple vision. I don't even know what that was. It was cool nonetheless. And then when they shoot Bizarro's Supergirl with kryptonite, and her face starts cracking up, and it's the other actress and not Melissa Benoist, that was really cool. And seeing, honestly, that last scene when they put Bizarro Supergirl under, and Kara's having that scene where they're talking about being afraid and how, whatever, that was really an emotionally powerful scene. I started to tear up because you see that Bizarro Supergirl was not a bad guy. Just like in most incarnations, the Bizarro character in general is not bad. It's just it doesn't necessarily understand what's going on. It was just an experiment gone wrong. It just wants to try to do the right thing. All these things that there is more to the Bizarro character that is just like the one word, like Supergirl, bad, like I am Bizarro, like that kind of thing. So that aspect of it I actually really, really enjoyed. And seeing the dynamic of Kara and Bizarro towards the end, that was seeing those scenes. That was something that I really, really enjoyed. Like, I think like all the scenes between Bizarro and Supergirl and the whole Bizarro aspect of it. I mean, the whole fact that she should kidnap Kara was obviously because he knew that, you know, Maxwell Lord knew their secret identity. And the fact that the DEO arrested Maxwell Lord, the entire, like, once they brought him down to the DEO, I was assuming that, you know, Hank's gonna go down there and just mind wipe him, so he can't, you know, say, oh, you know, Supergirl is, you know, Kara Danvers. Maybe they will do that. I hope they do that, because I really don't know how else they're gonna get around that whole, like, he knows their secret. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think that's it for me. A really, really solid episode, but despite my problems all with the whole romance aspect of the show, which is something that I think the writers need to really improve on. Other than that, again, really, really solid episode. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode, which is titled "The Girl Who Had Everything," which is based off of the comic book "The Man Who Had Everything," written by Alan Moore. Where next week Supergirl's gonna be envisioning a world where Krypton's still around, and it's like a perfect world where, like, you know, her parents didn't die and Kal-El wasn't shipped off and all those things. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And yeah, so again, that's going to be it for me, guys. So if you guys like what you see here, go ahead and hit subscribe below. I have content pretty much every day of the week. Supergirl on Mondays, obviously. Flash on Tuesdays. Arrow on Wednesdays. Legends of Tomorrow on Thursdays. And other stuff in between. So if you guys, again, Just give me a like, comment, subscribe, keep the conversation going. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. So until next time, guys, have a good one.